Last looks, everybody. Last looks. Here's your producers. Jump on in and go.
Hi. So we just kind of wanted to give you an update on Eric. We've really been efforting to have him participate in any way, shape, or form. So we've asked him to fly out here. He declined. We sent him a Polycom device so he could participate. He said, you know, I don't think I can make that work. And so from the very least, we said, how about a statement? He said, I don't have a statement. And we asked if there's anything you want to say, and he said, no, ma'am. So just kind of interesting that he doesn't really have much to say and says, I don't really care what these two women have to say. I'll just find out when the show airs, which is very interesting that they're both here to fight for him.
So he's hiding out.
Yep.
To him, he's like, why waste my time? That's essentially how he sees it.
They're not going to lie to each other. They're here to tell all the truth about what's going on in the relationships.
He's been telling the girlfriend not to tell the wife that they've been sleeping together.
Let's see. Let's do it.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Today on Dr. Phil, she's in love with a married man.
He is married, yes.
Now,
Brooklyn says that her boyfriend's wife is irrelevant.
she faces off
I don't really think I should have to explain myself.
with her boyfriend's wife.
She is here.
Do you realize that I'm not the first one?
So he's had others.
You are a fling. He wants to make our marriage work.
Stop talking to me.
He's lying to both of you. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, you're going to find this a little hard to believe, but 18-year-old Brooklyn says she is sick and tired of her mother butting into her love life and trying to ruin her relationship with her boyfriend, Eric. Brooklyn's mother, Courtney, admits she wants nothing more than to see them apart. But that's only because Brooklyn's boyfriend has 2 children and a wife.
My daughter Brooklyn is in a relationship with a married man and doesn't see anything wrong with it. It makes me disgusted. I don't understand how my daughter could do anything like this. Brooklyn is attracted to guys that are pretty much sugar daddies or the bad boys. I don't feel like Brooklyn respects herself. If she did, she would not be sleeping with a married man. I do not feel that Eric has any intention of divorcing and will ever leave his wife. All Brooklyn ever says is that I'm trying to run her life. Brooklyn said she wished Dr. Phil and Robin were her parents, and I told her that I didn't think that Dr. Phil or Robin would put up with her crap. If Brooklyn does not end her relationship with Eric, then she's not going to continue to have a support system. That includes me, that includes her whole family. If Brooklyn does not stop seeing married men, then she will get hurt because wives don't put up with that. I honestly do feel like Dr. Phil's the only one to get through to her because she does respect him more than she respects me.
Well, Brooklyn is adamant that she's not doing anything wrong and says her mother just needs to back off or she will file a restraining order against her for harassment.
My mom doesn't like that I'm dating Eric because he's still married. She's always trying to get us in trouble. It does piss me off. I've never had a close relationship with my mom. I only started to get to know my mom when I moved in with her 2 years ago. She just starts yelling at me for no reason. I feel like she's bipolar. Last year I moved out and met my boyfriend Eric. I ended up staying at Eric and his wife's house because I had nowhere else to go. The main things that attracted me to Eric was his smile and his hair. I loved the length of his hair. I did start to have feelings for Eric after a few weeks. It was around Christmas time when Eric first kissed me. One night, my mom reported me as a runaway. Police came, handcuffed me and Eric, and took us to the police station. My mom thought calling the police would break me and Eric up. She was wrong. My mom doesn't know that Eric and his wife don't interact, and they don't even sleep in the same room. Eric and I have been having sex for about 10 months. I get called a homewrecker a lot. We hold hands and we laugh like we're in a relationship. Normal boyfriend-girlfriend things, except he is married, yes. I've tried telling my mom to get out of my business, and I get back, oh, well, I'm your mom. I have to be in your business. And I'm just like, no, you don't. This is the best relationship I've ever had, and it is absolutely fantastic. I would do anything possible to keep my relationship with Eric. I'm in love with him, hardcore.
Okay, now, You two didn't have a relationship really actively until about 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir.
Well, she says it's because my dad basically kidnapped me or took me, and she didn't have the chance to get me back. But I've heard it from other people in her family, but I don't really honestly believe that.
Right. Why did you not have a relationship with her?
He took off with Brooklyn when she was 16 months old. I moved around a lot, so I could never keep up with him.
Okay, so you're living with her for a couple of years, and then what caused you to go start living with Eric and his wife?
Because I was originally just staying with my ex-boyfriend at Eric's house.
So what is it about Eric that you like?
Everything. Like his personality.
You like his hair.
Oh my God, I love his hair.
You love his hair.
I love his hair.
Yeah.
And I love like his personality, and I love the way he treats me, and really just everything about him is just like attractive to me, except, you know, the fact that he's still technically married. That's the only thing that...
He's technically married. What does technically married mean?
They don't sleep together. They stay on opposite sides of the house, and I know that because he FaceTimes me at night, like... And they don't really even talk. Like, I've seen their text messages. I know exactly, like, what's going on. It's not like I'm blindsided by anything.
You were able to watch Eric and his wife while you were there?
Yes, sir.
And you knew they were actively married while you were there?
Yes, sir.
So you saw that?
Yes, sir.
So you knew they were actively married?
Yes, sir.
You knew they weren't separated? You knew they were living under the same roof together?
Yes, sir.
So, he's got great hair and a crummy marriage.
He doesn't have gray hair.
What?
He doesn't have gray hair.
I said great.
Oh, yes, he has amazing hair.
So you told him to leave your daughter alone?
I have told him quite a few times.
And apparently he didn't heed that.
No.
Why?
He doesn't care about anything that anybody tells him.
But I don't want her in my business either. Like, it's not her business.
No. No.
I'm
And you don't
18.
think it's his wife's business either?
I didn't say that.
No, you actually did.
Well, I don't really think I should have to explain myself to her because she's tried to screw me over too, just like she has. So, like, why would I sit there and give his wife information when she's doing the same thing that she's doing?
So because we want what's best for you, that's screwing you over?
I don't want you around me.
Well, and his wife doesn't want you around good hair Eric.
That's okay. Good hair Eric keeps coming around me.
Well, but Eric's not here.
No.
Eric's not here, right?
Because she decided that she was going to anonymously call his job and say that he's on drugs, and now he's basically under the microscope and he can't leave or, like, even miss work.
Well, I don't think he wanted to be here.
He didn't.
He really didn't want to be here, did he?
He said that he would have.
Oh, well, if he said so, then... Well, okay, look, Brooklyn says that her boyfriend's wife is irrelevant to her because she says they were separated before these two got together, Eric and Brooklyn. Was Eric just telling Brooklyn what she wants to hear? We're going to investigate that next.
And then music, no one is on.
You told his wife that, by the way, my daughter's sleeping with your husband.
I did.
How'd that go over? And later, there's an old saying, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you.
Why are you crying?
I don't think you understand how much you actually do hurt me doing this stuff to yourself.
You're still meddling in something that you don't even need to be in.
Ready effects to 41 in 3, 2, 1, effects.
My mom has called the police on Eric and I several times.
My goal was to break them up. I really just wanted to put Eric in jail.
Recently, my mom called the police and tried to get Eric and I arrested for second-degree burglary.
When the cops came, she told them that she was on the lease, but didn't have any paperwork to back it up.
The police showed up, knocked on the door. They had their guns out. I thought I was going to be shot.
In the end, they both got out of handcuffs.
When my mom calls the police, I think she feels like it's gonna push me and Eric apart, but in reality, it just brings us closer together.
Well, Courtney's daughter, Brooklyn, says that she and her boyfriend are in love, and they've even talked about marriage and her becoming a stepmother to his 2 children. In fact, she says they've even talked about having children of their own. Take a look.
I miss you. I said, I miss you too. I wish you were here. He said, I know, me too. Eric and I's relationship is perfect. Definitely fantastic. Eric calls me his baby girl, tells me that he loves me all the time.
Eric is pure trash, and for him to date Brooklyn openly in public is ridiculous.
We're very loving, caring, affectionate towards each other.
Eric is very disrespectful, not only towards my daughter, but I feel he's very disrespectful to his wife.
Eric buys me clothes, food, we go out and hang out together. Eric has gotten me my iPhone. He bought me my case. He has also gotten me this designer purse. He does a lot for me.
Eric spends money on my daughter that he hides from his wife, Mandy.
He does spoil me, hardcore.
Eric got a bonus check from work and told his wife, Mandy, he lost it and spent it on my daughter. Eric has a secret room in his house behind a bookshelf that Brooklyn was staying in. Eric does call that his man cave.
Eric was sneaking me in through his window every day because I didn't have anywhere else to go. Eric's kids do know about me, and they come up and they'll like hug me and give me kisses, and like it's really cute. They call me Star. It's kind of like a code name so Mandy won't know that they're talking about me.
Brooklyn has actually told me that Mandy's so stupid and she doesn't know what's going on.
Eric and I have talked about marriage one day, like way future. I think Eric will eventually leave Mandy. I'm hoping that Dr. Phil just tells my mom to butt out. I like that Dr. Phil is really straightforward and he just tells it how it is. I do. I've been watching your show for like ever, Dr. Phil.
I appreciate that. So you see Eric how often? Like every day?
Every day, every other day.
Okay, and
every
you say
2 days.
You say you're just floating around in town. You don't have anywhere to stay.
No, I just started a job and I am trying to get a place of my own.
Right.
But it's really hard because I don't have credit and I can't sign for an apartment on my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you, I have a few questions for you here in a second, but let me ask you, and I'm just gathering information, okay?
Okay.
So I can maybe help bring some kind of order to this. You say Eric loves you, right?
Yes, sir.
Because you say you don't really have a place to stay and you're just floating around, and he's separated from his wife, so why aren't you living with him?
Because he's trying to pay off his charges that he got back in February.
What kind of charges?
It was unauthorized use of vehicle to a minor and contributing to a minor.
And who's the minor?
Me. I was the minor.
You can't live with him because he doesn't have the money to get a place because he's paying off legal charges.
And not only that, he can't sign for an apartment either because he's had charges within the past 2 years.
Right. So where's he living?
He's staying at his house that he owns with Mandy.
Oh, so he's with his wife?
Not with her, but yeah, like, no.
It's kind of like he wasn't driving, but he was.
No, like they don't.
And he's like with his wife, but he isn't.
It's a big house. Like he stays on one side, she stays on the other. They don't really even talk unless it's about the kids.
Now, you told his wife that, by the way, my daughter's sleeping with your husband.
I did.
How'd that go over?
She was very appreciative.
She is here. So we're going to add her to this conversation after the break.
When I first met Brooklyn, I thought she was a sweet young girl, but I found out my husband Eric was cheating with Brooklyn. When I confronted Eric, he just kept denying it. I know who the liar is.
And later, has your husband ever told you that he wants a divorce?
No. He wants to have the best of both worlds. He wants his little fling, which that's what you are. You are a fling.
3, 2, 1, effects. Ready, 41.
Brooklyn's in for a huge surprise because Brooklyn does not have any idea that Mandy and I talk every day. I wrote her a note with my phone number and put it on the windshield of her car. And when Mandy called me, I told Mandy about Brooklyn sleeping in Eric's car with him, that Eric wasn't going to the places he was going. I was actually the one that informed Mandy about his job promotion and the check that he got. And then I sent her all the receipts for all the stuff he bought Brooklyn. Brooklyn doesn't have any idea that Mandy and I are secret friends and that Mandy knows everything that has been going on.
Well, Eric's wife, Mandy, says that 4 weeks ago, Courtney confirmed her biggest fear, which was that her husband is having an affair with Brooklyn. Take a look.
My husband's affair with Brooklyn is ruining our marriage. Everything that Eric tells me is a lie. When he's gone, it's because he's with Brooklyn. When I first met Brooklyn, I thought she was a sweet young girl. What I didn't know was that she was a 17-year-old runaway. In January, I found out my husband, Eric, was spending time with Brooklyn. I called the police. Eric got charged with 2 misdemeanors. One time, I discovered that Eric was hiding Brooklyn in his man cave. Here's your bookshelf door. You have to pull a certain book. It clicks. And then you push it open, and this is the room that my husband's been sleeping in. That's where Brooklyn was sneaking in and out of these windows over here. I'm gonna open one of these. Meanwhile, my sister went outside and she saw Brooklyn crawling out the window. So you could just open it and then just crawl right out here. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, Courtney, Brooklyn's mom, told me, your husband is cheating on you with my daughter. When I confronted Eric and told him I have proof, he told me that he has not ever had sex with Brooklyn. He just kept denying it. He's still just lying and denying everything. I know who the liar is. Courtney told me that Eric had got his bonus check from work. He had spent it all on Brooklyn. Eric told me he never got his bonus check. She told me that he bought her a promise ring.
I cried when he gave it to me because I thought it was sweet.
My reaction was, what on earth is he promising her? Eric is Brooklyn's sugar daddy, but he also wants to maintain his family as well. Eric still continues to lie to me, even as of 2 days ago, about taking Brooklyn to the airport to fly to LA to be on the Dr. Phil show. He denied it. I'm at the end of my rope with Eric, lying and cheating to me. He's going to have to face it head on.
Mandy, Dr. Phil, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Have a seat.
For some reason you're looking down?
No.
Okay.
I think you know everybody.
Yep. I do.
I haven't
And
seen you in a long time.
Brooklyn lived in your house, right?
Mm-hmm. I opened up my house to her. Now I'm in this situation with this girl who thinks that she's in love with my husband.
Did he tell you he was having any relationship with her at all?
No.
Do you realize that I'm not the first one?
The first what?
Well,
The first girl he's...
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on.
The first...
Has your husband ever told you that he wants a divorce?
No.
He's never said, and y'all aren't separated.
We are not separated. He wants to have the best of both worlds. He wants his little fling, which that's what you are. You don't know it now because you're 18 and you think you know everything. I texted him yesterday. I can show you the message. I told him, do you still love me? Do you want to fix our marriage and make it work? Question mark. And he said yes. He wants to make our marriage work.
Well, he's lying to the both of us then, so...
I guess so.
You just can't be mad at me then. Exactly.
I can be mad at you. I am mad at you.
You're right.
I'm furious at you.
I'm glad.
You're so smart, Alec. It's really immature.
Well,
you know
I've
that,
never
right?
really liked you.
Every 18-year-old little girl in America has that kind of an attitude.
It doesn't matter if you like her or
I
not.
don't like you either.
You should still
Stop
respect
talking to me.
her.
Stop talking to me.
I don't have to.
Yeah, you do.
No.
No, actually,
one
I
doesn't
don't.
have to
Stop
stop
talking
talking to you. You need to listen.
Yeah, we'll be
You
right
need to
back.
start
My
listening.
mom. You were his first, right?
Yeah.
I'm his fifth.
I don't believe you.
That's what he told me.
Closed captioning provided by
Ready, effects to 43. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, effects. Ready, 43.
Eric got me a promise ring.
But Brooklyn picked it out.
He basically gave it to me on Valentine's Day, and it's really special to me because it promises me and him to be together.
I have seen the promise ring. She wears it every day on her wedding ring finger.
I cried when he gave it to me because I thought it was sweet.
I'm pretty sure that the promise ring is fake.
Looking down at my hand and seeing the promise ring, it makes me feel secure about my relationship.
There's no way that Eric could hide that much money from Mandy to buy a real diamond promise ring for Brooklyn.
You started to say he's had other affairs.
Yeah. You were his first, right?
Yeah,
I'm his fifth.
I don't believe you.
That's what he told me.
There's an old saying, if they'll do it with you, they'll do it to you.
Okay.
I mean, if he will...
No, you're the exception, right? You're the exception.
No, if he will cheat on her with you, what makes you think he won't cheat on you with her?
But it just hasn't happened yet. Why are you crying?
I don't think you understand how much you actually do hurt me doing this stuff to yourself. You say you don't want to have a relationship with me and that you don't like me, but you're still my daughter. And it still hurts.
Yeah, but you're still meddling in something that you don't even need to be in.
This is a person that, if they loved you, would not be letting you bounce around on the streets with nowhere to live.
Well, they do, so.
Well, let me tell you, if I had to starve, if I had to live in a box under a bridge, I would do it before I would let that woman want for something. Because if you really love someone, you put their interest ahead of your own. You nurture them to make sure they are safe, secure, happy, cared for. You put their interest ahead of your own.
I mean, that's what I do. Like, he's not just sitting there giving me money all the time. I give him money too, so it's not like
With
he's...
what job?
I have a job.
Well, just last week, Mandy received something from Eric, and it wasn't divorce papers. We'll talk about that when we come back.
And music,
You realize he's lying to both of you, right?
I just feel like you're
No, I don't
listening
think
to
she
their
does.
side of the
I don't
story.
think she
No,
does.
I'm listening to both sides of the story. You don't think he's lying to you?
No.
Closed captioning provided by You're hearing people talk about immigration. You're hearing people talk about education. You're hearing people talk about health care. You're hearing people talk about so many of these things that they're getting pushed to the forefront of the narrative in America. But these aren't political issues, not to me anyway, and I don't think to you. I think these are real world cultural issues, family issues. I've written this new book, We've Got Issues, How You Can Stand Strong for America's Soul and Sanity, because I think we have to come together as a nation and stand up for what we believe is right, what we believe is important for our families and for our future. And I think you're going to find when you open this book and start reading that it's going to speak to the core values that you hold so dear. It's going to speak to those things that have you troubled in your life. This is a very prescriptive book. And I talk about the 10 principles in this book for a healthy society. And I talk about how we can push back about some of the things that you probably are seeing happen right now and think, this is insane. This country was built on a meritocracy. This country was built on rewarding hard work and added value. This country was built on family. And this book is a way to lead us back to those sort of values, embracing those sort of values, pushing those sort of values. I believe it is the most important book I've ever written. And I want you to pick this book up, I want you to read it, and I want you to tell everybody about this book, because I think it's our chance to take the narrative back. I think it's our chance to embrace those things that made this country so great. I'm proud of this country. I love this country. And you'll see that in We've Got Issues, how you can stand strong for America's soul and sanity. And it's available everywhere books are sold. I really hope that you not only pick it up, but read it. It's not a paperweight. You got to open it up and you got to read it. Listen, it's spring of 2024. This is an important time in America's history. Join me on this journey. We'll see you next time.